Why are you highly skilled but still fail to convince customers? How many times have you ended a call with a heavy heart because yet another opportunity slipped away? You're not alone. The truth is, being good is not enough. If you still believe that just doing good work will attract clients, you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. Sales is not a skill reserved for smooth talkers. It's the secret weapon of those who understand psychology. And if you're still afraid of selling, maybe you've never seen this approach before. So what makes someone who used to hate selling able to close million-dollar deals without saying much? This video will make you question everything you thought you knew. Part 1. Redefining sales mindset. The essence of selling lies not in closing deals, but in unlocking transformation. A seller doesn't merely provide solutions, they help others see where they are, where they want to go, and what's holding them back. When this happens, transformation unfolds. No persuasion needed, no pushing required, just timely empathy, guided by curiosity and respect. This is the most humane and effective way to sell. Don't push products, pave the way. Assuming the customer always knows what they need is a dangerous misconception. People come to you surrounded by chaos, overwhelmed by options, overloaded with information, and uncertain in their choices. If you only respond to what they ask, you're addressing the surface. But if you dare ask one more question, dig deeper into their true motivation, you have the chance to lead them to what they truly need. The role of a seller is not to deliver the order, but to help the customer see what they haven't yet seen. The belief that product quality alone guarantees success is causing many talented people to be overlooked. In a world where emotions and perceptions drive buying decisions, real value is not enough. It must be connected, reflected, and told in the right way. A brilliant solution told in dry language will always lose to an average one that understands the buyer. This is an injustice. It's a sign that sales require empathy, not just skill. When a seller shifts their focus from proving themselves to understanding the customer, everything changes. No longer how to get them to choose me, but how to help them make the best decision for themselves. This isn't technique, it's a mindset. The seller is no longer a persuader, but a creator of value. And true value isn't what you provide, it's how you make the customer feel clearer and more confident after each conversation. Part 2. Question-based sales approach. A quality sales conversation doesn't begin with a pitch. It begins with a question. A question doesn't just open up information, it opens up trust. When you ask the right question, you don't just understand what the customer wants, you uncover why it matters. The right question is the most powerful tool to uncover barriers, reveal true desires, and create a sense of being understood. The deeper you ask, the clearer the customer sees the problem, and the clearer they see it, the easier the buying decision becomes. Having confidence in your intuition and jumping straight to solutions is a common mistake among salespeople. Reactions like, "I know what to do," turn the customer into someone being imposed upon, rather than being guided. Assumptions are the biggest trap. Instead of predicting, go deeper. Instead of answering, ask again. Behind every goal is an emotion. Behind every obstacle is an untold story. When you're truly curious, you discover more than any survey form ever could. Questions create depth that logic can't reach. Many people believe that asking a lot of questions makes them look uninformed. On the contrary, in deep communication, the one who asks the most questions is the one controlling the space. Customers don't need you to be impressive. They need you to care. And care can't be faked. It's clearly shown through every question you choose to ask. When a customer says, "Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking," you no longer need to pitch. They're ready. The most effective salespeople don't push for a sale. They guide customers to reach their own conclusion. Some robotic sales systems encourage scripted questions, but the liveliness of a real conversation doesn't come from templates. It comes from the emotional flow and the evolving context of each response. True skill lies in the ability to listen and craft the next question with tight connection. A good question bridges what was just heard to what hasn't yet been spoken. This isn't the art of trapping, it's the skill of being fully present. When you're truly present, the customer opens up sincerely. Asking is one thing, listening is another. A question only has value when you genuinely receive what the other person shares. Don't ask just to stay in control. Ask to listen, to feel, to connect. Every question you pose should take you deeper into the customer's story. When you go deep enough, you won't need persuasion skills. The customer will see the path open before them. At that moment, all you need to do is summarize the picture using the very language they've painted it with. Part 3. Listening with full presence and value. Listening isn't simply staying silent while the other person speaks. It's being fully present in every moment. When you truly listen, you hear even what the customer hasn't said out loud. The pauses, the hesitations, the shifts in tone, all of it holds emotional data. And when you reflect that back through a thoughtful question or a look of empathy, you create a space of trust. No need to persuade, just give them the feeling of being seen and understood. Listening is often underrated because it doesn't feel active. Some think that if they're not speaking, they'll come across as lacking energy. But timely silence is a form of soft power. When you don't interrupt, when you're not waiting for your turn to counter, you're building a bridge instead of erecting a wall. Customers feel it when they're truly heard all the way through. And when they feel safe, they will reveal their real problems. That's when you don't need to close the deal because they've already opened the door to you. True listening isn't just hearing words, it's sensing the energy behind every share. And to do that, you must lower your guard, let go of assumptions, and release the urge to impress. There is no right answer in a moment of deep listening. Only curiosity, presence, and the honest desire to understand. When you train yourself to listen at that level, you don't need to learn any new technique. Because the customer will feel, you're not trying to sell me something. You're here with me. Part 4. Building trust in every question. Trust doesn't come from grand introductions or lengthy lists of achievements. It comes from asking the right question at the right time. When a customer senses that you're not trying to sell, but trying to understand, their defenses drop. And in that moment, what matters most isn't your knowledge, but your sincerity. Trust cannot be forced. It is nurtured through small conversations, built with presence, and sustained by truth. The mindset of, I need to persuade them to choose me, unintentionally puts the seller in a lower position. The pressure of needing to be chosen creates anxious energy. It makes you talk too much, try too hard to prove yourself, and easily lose focus. The truth is, when a customer actively reaches out, they already see you as an option. From that moment on, you don't need to prove. You need to confirm whether there's a good fit. Trust grows not when you become the best, but when you become the most suitable. The belief that every customer must buy is a self-destructive mindset in sales. Not everyone is someone you should serve. When you candidly say, I'm not sure this is the best solution for you, you don't lose a customer, you build credibility. A well-timed rejection shows that you prioritize the customer's benefit over revenue. Trust doesn't come from agreeing to every request, but from the ability to say no at the right moment with honest and responsible reasons. In every conversation, you're not looking for a contract, you're seeking the truth. The truth about the customer's problems, their deeper desires, the unnamed barriers. The right question will reveal that. And the deeper you dig into that truth, the more trust you build. Trust is not a result, it's the foundation that makes every result possible. You don't need to increase trust by saying more. Do it by asking clearly, listening fully, and reflecting back the very thing they've hesitated to say out loud. Part 5. A new sales model. To break free from the old sell-to-win mindset, you need a complete shift in approach. The sales model isn't just a formula, it's a professional lifestyle applied in every conversation. S is for serve, to serve. Not reluctant service, but a proactive commitment to help the customer achieve what they want, even when that doesn't lead to a transaction. When you truly see sales as a chance to contribute, not a stage to prove yourself, you build relationships, not just contracts. Some think the more they talk about solutions, the more the customer will trust them. The truth is, the more you talk about yourself, the more the customer withdraws. A is for ask, to ask questions. Not to steer toward a service package, but to clarify the blurry picture the customer is trying to see. A well-timed open question holds 10 times the power of a slide deck. When the customer says, "No one's asked me that before," you're on the right path. It's the question that opens the door to trust, not the slogan. L is for listen. To listen, but not listening to reply. It's listening to truly understand, to feel the hesitation in their voice, to grasp what words alone can express. Salespeople are often tempted to respond cleverly, but what customers need isn't cleverness. They need presence, focused and without judgment. When you stop thinking about your next reply, that's when you truly begin to listen. And in that silence, trust begins to bloom. Experienced service professionals often make the mistake of thinking the more detailed the consultation, the more value they show. But what truly nurtures long-term connection is E, empathize to empathize. Not surface-level empathy, but the ability to feel the customer's unease as if it were your own. Technical expertise can't replace emotional resonance. People don't want to buy from someone who understands the problem. They want someone who walks with them through it. Empathy is the invisible thread that keeps customers close. The final S is for summarize. To summarize. After asking, listening, and empathizing, wrapping up the conversation helps the customer hear their own story through a new lens. But summarizing doesn't mean repeating word for word. It's the art of using the customer's own language to clarify the journey they're on. When you can reflect back what they're feeling but haven't yet expressed, you're not just showing understanding, you're showing guidance. And from there, the decision to buy unfolds naturally. Part 6, Real-World Sales. 5 scenarios throughout the journey. A casual moment can open a big opportunity if you dare to ask. No need to present your service, just listen when someone shares a real issue. Are you facing something that needs solving right now? This one question can kickstart a whole new journey. Selling isn't about bargaining in. It's about seeing clearly and stepping in at the right time. This isn't a trick. This is a life skill. Sharp awareness, courage, and presence. The one who asks the right question at the right moment is remembered longer than the one who speaks the most. Avoiding sales with acquaintances out of fear of losing rapport is a common illusion. In fact, existing trust is the best foundation for a deep conversation. A simple question like, "Why is that important to you?" can lead the customer to reveal what they truly want. No need for steering. No need for a performance. Transformation comes from within. And the seller's role is to shed light. When done right, you don't break the relationship. You help it evolve in depth and sincerity. There's a mistaken belief that rejecting a customer means losing an opportunity. But in a real-life example, candidly saying, "I will be the most expensive option," didn't drive the customer away. On the contrary, it created trust. Serious customers don't fear high prices. They fear the wrong investment. When you clearly position yourself and confidently express your value, you filter out mismatched clients. Selling isn't about pleasing everyone. It's the art of finding the right people and standing firm in your worth. Many enter sales conversations by criticizing the customer's website, documents, or branding. But negative comments never build connection. Instead, observe and ask, do you feel your current image truly reflects your product's quality? That creates space for customers to self-reflect. Sales don't come from judgment, they come from awakening. When buyers see the imbalance, they naturally want to adjust. One of the strongest techniques is to begin by naming familiar pain points. Clients like you often face these 3 challenges. That line not only shows your experience, but also makes the client feel understood. If they nod, you've found the key to opening their trust. No need to sell. Just affirm the real problem. When customers feel that you see what they've been hiding, they won't look elsewhere. Trust isn't born from the first greeting. It's born from being seen through. Some believe that sales is the art of persuasion. But every effective example shows it's the art of deep listening and asking the right questions. Not questions meant to guide toward a sale, but to open things up. Not to push into a service package, but to create space for the customer to lead themselves to a decision. A great question doesn't force someone to buy. It makes them unable to turn away from the truth. True selling doesn't make anyone change. It helps them realize they're ready to change. Part 7. Closing the sale without closing. Closing a sale is not the moment to pressure a decision. It's the natural result of a series of listening, empathizing, and well-paced guidance. When you summarize the journey the customer has gone through using their own words, You help them see the full picture clearly. A simple question like, if this solution helps you achieve the goal we discussed, should we take the next step, is enough to open the door. Initiative doesn't come from talking more. It comes from clearly reflecting what the customer is already ready for. Many try to impress by offering multiple package options, thinking that the more flexible they are, the better. But the more choices there are, the more distracted the customer becomes. When you've understood deeply, the right thing to do is to propose the single best solution. This isn't limiting choice, it's demonstrating confidence. A clear, direct proposal shows you understand the issue thoroughly. And customers don't need more choices, they need certainty. Your role is to bring clarity into the fog. A good ending is a natural continuation of an effective conversation. When you've asked the right questions, listened enough, and empathized deeply, what you need to do isn't close, but to open at the right moment. Would you like me to send over a concrete proposal for us to review together? This isn't a technique. It's timely courtesy. A true close doesn't create tension. It feels like both sides are standing on the same side, looking in the same direction, nodding to move forward together. You're good at what you do, but who remembers you? You deliver quality, yet who seeks you out? If being good were enough, why are you still being overlooked? Could it be that you're playing a game without learning the rules? Not selling doesn't mean not persuading. You're persuading every time you speak, present, pitch an idea, or negotiate. So how have you been selling yourself? With a trembling voice or with questions full of weight? Will you keep hiding or start leading? Sell your ideas, sell your perspectives, sell your beliefs. So why not learn to do it right? Will you continue standing outside the game or begin leading it? The decision is yours. Thank you for watching the whole video. Please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos.